What's up everyone, 9th Jim here, back with another VGC 2020 Pokemon Sword and Shield competitive video, and today we're talking about Heliolisk. Now this Pokemon is actually really cool and very versatile with a very deep move pool and 3 different good abilities that play off of different weathers. Now this Pokemon is very versatile, being able to play on a lot of different teams, especially weather focused teams, because each one of its abilities work really well with a different kind of weather. The first one that we're going to be talking about is Sand Veil, which raises the Pokemon evasion 1 level during Sandstorm, which is really cool. It also gives you immunity to Sandstorm damage, which is pretty cool, keeping our Focus Sash intact, being a very useful ability. Its other ones are Dry Skin and Solar Power. Dry Skin being able to heal you 1/8 every turn during rain, essentially the leftovers heal, and then also whenever you are attacked with a water attack, then you heal 1/4 of your damage, which is pretty good. Or 1/4 of your health, which is very good. And then you also have Solar Power, which is a really good ability that plays off of Sunny Day, that gives you 1.5 times special attack, and then you also take damage at the end of the turn, but, 1.5 times special attack is very good, and this Pokemon can be used very offensively with that, as well as defensively, or not really defensively, but really supportive, being able to heal a little in Dry Skin. And then Sand Veil, it's just, a little evasive. Excuse me. Anyway, so Heliolisk is pretty cool. It's very versatile and can play off of a lot of different weathers, essentially. Anyway, for its about the Pokemon itself, an overview. Electric normal typing is a pretty interesting typing. I think it's unique to this Pokemon, but it might not be. I think it is. Anyway, so Sand Veil works pretty well with it. Electric normal typing gives us 1 immunity being Ghost, and then 3 resistances being Electric, Flying, and Steel, and then 2 weaknesses being Fighting and Ground. Now, we're not very bulky, so the resistances won't matter too much. A lot of them will still be 2-shotting us, especially if they're physical. Now, if they're special, then potentially you can live 2, but I wouldn't really rely on that because this Pokemon is going to be very frail, so running it with Sash essentially makes it so that we're always getting 2-shot, which is good because if the Pokemon stays 2-shot, you can get off a couple of good support attacks or even some good damage with Heliolisk. Also, our evasiveness is raised once in Sand Veil, so maybe we can live a couple of turns. Its stats are pretty solid here. Obviously, like I said, its bulk is not very great. HP 62 and defense 52 is really weak, but special defense at 94 is not bad. So potentially with a couple of resisted special attack hits, you can take maybe 2 to 3 to the face and still be alive, which is really good. Probably only 2, but still, not bad. And then as far as our offense goes, though, this Pokemon is really solid. 109 special attack and 109 speed make this Pokemon hit really hard and be on a very solid speed tier. We're on the same speed tier as a Pokemon like Durant, which is commonly very fast and pretty good. Outspeeds a lot of really good Pokemon, and we'll talk about that more at the speed tier section of the video. But for now, the overview is pretty cool. Makes this Pokemon very good and very versatile. Anyway, that's going to be it for our overview. Let's go ahead and move on to the build itself. So as far as our first build goes here, and I say first build, but it's the only build. We also do have a single spotlight build at the end, so keep intact for that. Keep intact. That's not a phrase. Anyway, so Sand Veil ability and item Focus Sash. We already explained these a little bit. Sand Veil is mostly for that Tyranitar Excadrill team, but you can obviously change it up if you want to. Obviously, don't run Sand Veil if you don't have any form of getting Sandstorm up on the field. So if you're not using something like Tyranitar, Gigalith, or Hippowdon, then use a different ability. Honestly, if you're not going to be using Sand, and you don't want to use it in any certain weather, then, obviously use it in its applicable weather. So if you're on a sunny day team, use it for Solar Power, and same with, Dry Skin if you're on a water team, a Rain Dance team, that's what it's called. But Sand Veil is pretty cool. Focus Sash, honestly, is the best way to go. You can go with something more damaging. You can go with Choice Specs. You could go with Life Orb, Expert Belt if you want to put out some more damage, but then keep in mind that you're very frail. Anyway, as far as our moves go, we have Thunderbolt, Hyper Voice, Parabolic Charge, and Glare. Now, this is very customizable. You can change this up a lot. I like having Thunderbolt on here, just a very high damage, high accuracy stab, special attacking move, something that you're going to be hitting with, or something you're almost always going to be hitting with, and putting out very solid damage. We also have Hyper Voice, of course. I took a sip of water, that's why that pause there. So we also have Hyper Voice, of course, doing pretty solid damage. It's our best special attacking stab, normal type attack. We also have Hyper Beam, but Hyper Beam takes that extra turn to recharge, and overall Hyper Voice will be getting out a little bit more damage. You could also even run Throat Spray with this if you expect to be Hyper Voicing a lot, but I didn't do it because you don't always use that. But it's still very good. And then we have Parabolic Charge here, which is a really interesting move. So it actually hits for not very much damage, but it does heal actually a good bit of the damage that it does. 50% of the damage dealt. And now it's only a 65 base power move, so it's not going to be doing a lot of damage, but the heal is pretty relevant to keep our sash intact. Potentially our opponent could, hit us with something like a Dazzling Gleam, or some kind of multi-targeting hit like a Surf from a Dragapult Colossal Lead or something, do a little bit of damage to it, and then we're able to hit with Parabolic Charge and heal that back up, and then our Focus Sash is still intact, which can be really, really interesting, in a cool little thing that you can do. Last, we have Glare here, just being able to guarantee poison. I said poison, but I meant paralysis. Guaranteed paralysis, something it's very similar to Nuzzle, but without doing damage, but it's a normal type attack, which is very good so that things like Raichu and, Lightning Rad Pokemon cannot stop it. It also goes through hitting things like Rotom and Excadrill instead of like what Thunder Wave cannot. So it's pretty cool. Sandveil, or I keep saying Sandveil, just because that's what I see. But yeah, Glare is pretty cool. It's really, really solid. I think it's really good, and that's what we're running it with. Other than that, there are a lot of moves that can make this very, very customizable. Things like Volt Switch and Thunder Discharge being other options for Thunderbolt. We also have moves like Dark Pulse, Breaking Swipe, Surf, Weather Ball, Solar Beam. A lot of really good coverage moves that can really spread this Pokemon really thin, but hitting a lot of different moves for coverage, which is really good if you need coverage on your team. And yeah, it's good. This Pokemon's very versatile. It has great moves for coverage as well as great abilities that can put it on a lot of different teams. Heliolisk is pretty cool. Other than that, we do have a lot of support moves as well. Glare is not the only one. We also have Electrify, which changes the the move that's being used this turn into an electric type move. And let me pull this move up so I can do it justice. Changes the target's move to electric this turn. Weird move. But if you have this side by side with like something like Excadrill and your opponent has Rotom Wash and they're going for like a Hydro Pump or something, boom, you hit it with Electrify, and now it's not going to do any damage to your Excadrill. Really interesting move. Maybe not the best, but pretty cool. It definitely can support the correct Pokemon, and it's very, very solid. Things like, yeah, it's cool. I don't know. I don't have any other perfect examples, but it's cool. And then we also have Airy Impulse, which is very, very good, lowering the special attack by the target by 2. Which is very, very solid, hitting really good Pokemon, things like, I mean, essentially it's just a superpower Snarl against one Pokemon, and a lot of the time Snarl will only hit one Pokemon that matters, if they have like a physical and a special attacking Pokemon on the field. So Airy Impulse is cool. And then we also have Ally Switch, which nobody's a fan of, but it's really good. Everybody loves it when they use it, but everybody hates it when their opponent uses it and they didn't call it correctly. So Ally Switch is cool. And then next we have Rain Dance, which is just a good like attack in general for a rain team. If you're running this with Dry Skin, you can have Rain Dance if you don't want to have to, your Pelipper like already used it and is dead or something, or your opponent switches the weather, then you're able to run Rain Dance. It's just an extra precaution. You probably won't land. It probably won't land on very many sets, but it's an option. Next we have our EVs, our stats spread, which is pretty basic. Just 252 into special attack and 252 into speed, and then 252 plus into speed so that we're timid nature, just so we can be as fast as possible. Hitting 177 is a very, very solid speed tier. We'll talk about that in just one moment. Anyway, as far as our synergetic Pokemon go, we are running Sandveil, so we want to be using this on certain teams, things like Tyranitar, Excadrill, Hippowdon, or Gigalith Excadrill. You don't even have to run Excadrill, but it makes this Pokemon better, especially if you're using something like Electrify, or even Ally Switch. It can be really, really solid, and yeah, it's pretty cool. And then, for if you're running Dry Skin, using something like Pelipper, and then if you're using Solar Power, using it with Pokemon like Ninetales or Torkoal to set Drought, and then also using Pokemon like Charizard to really take advantage of it, another Solar Power Pokemon. So yeah, a couple of different ways to play it. Anyway, that's going to be it for this build. We'll go ahead and move on. We're already 10 minutes into the video. I'm sure I'm boring half of you. Half of you probably haven't even made it this far. If you have, leave a like and subscribe, baby. Anyway, so we're at speed tier 177, which is very, very solid. Heliolisk is very fast and really likes to be so fast. It's on the same speed tier as Durant, which is a commonly very fast Pokemon, or famously very, very fast. So that's pretty good. It's very fast, is what I'm saying. We're outspeeding a lot of really good Pokemon, things like Charizard, Mimikyu, Arcanine, Excadrill, Form Change Rotom. We outspeed things like Duraludon. A lot of really, really solid Pokemon are going to be landing near this speed tier, a little bit less. Things like Togekiss, Braviary, Gyarados. A lot of really, really good Pokemon we're outspeeding, which is really cool. Hitting things like Eerie Impulse on really important Pokemons. If you're side by side with something, you can really weaken things. Like Charizard hits you with a Heat Wave and you're able to just Eerie Impulse it and make it not exist, or Thunderbolt it and just kill it. Really good stuff. Things that do outspeed us, Raichu barely outspeeds us, but it does by 1 tick, 1 point. And then we have things like Whimsicott that outspeed us, that obviously will outspeed us if it uses Prankster attacks, but it still outspeeds us with Moonblast or Energy Ball or whatever it's attacking with. And then we have Inteleon and Dragapult, things like that, outspeeding us, of course. These unbelievably fast, famously unbelievably fast Pokemon are going to be outspeeding us. And then, of course, things like Choice Scarf Pokemon that outspeed us. Even slow Choice Scarf Pokemon like Tyranitar will still be outspeeding us. So, if they outspeed you, just expect that. And then things like Chlorophyll, all the Swift Swim Pokemon, Unburdened Pokemon, of course, are going to be outspeeding us, of course. Anyway, that's going to be it for our speed tiers. We'll go ahead and talk about some damage calcs. So as far as our damage calcs go, like I said, we're very frail, so most things are just going to be 2-hitting us anyway. It goes to show on our last one, even Conkeldurr Mach Punch would almost have a chance to guaranteed OHKO us. 87.5 is a very, very high chance. So yeah, not very bulky. So most of these are just offensive, just hitting things really hard with Thunderbolt. They're all just Thunderbolt slapping things. So first off, we have Thunderbolt into a Togekiss, a pretty defensive, but not super specially defensive. 228 HP and 12 special defense. This is currently the most used spread on Pikalytics, hitting 63 to 76%, which is a guaranteed 2-hit KO, which is pretty good. Hitting guaranteed 2-hit KOs on a lot of really good Pokemon. And actually, now that I'm looking at it, this is a Dynamax Charizard, I remember that. So yeah, that's pretty good. So yeah, 2-hit KOing a Togekiss, really good. Hitting 56 to 66% to a Milotic, 252 HP invested Milotic, very, very good as well. Hitting a guaranteed 2-hit KO, even if it coils, a guaranteed 2-hit KO is very good. Unless it max Quakes, that's the only way. And then we have Thunderbolt into a Primarina, hitting 64 to 77%, also guaranteed 2-hit KO, very good. Next we have into a Corviknight at 252 special defense even, hitting 53 to 64%, guaranteed 2-hit KO even through Iron Armor, which is really good. I said Iron Armor. That's not the right move. Why can't I think of the right move? It's not called Iron Armor. Iron Defense. Even through Iron Defense, we get through that boy. Big boy. Iron Defense, right? Iron Defense is, I think it's only defense. Am I... No, yeah. User raises defense by 2. Even if it Iron Armors, then boom. I keep saying Iron Armor. Even if it Iron Defenses, we still kill it. 2 hits, guaranteed. Very good. Then also Thunderbolt into a Dynamax Charizard hits, guaranteed 2-hit KO. However, if it doesn't Dynamax, but 9 out of 10 times a Charizard that is out there is Dynamaxing or Gigantamaxing, we still hit 50 to 60% into its Dynamax form or Gigantamax form, giving us a guaranteed 2-hit KO, which is really good. And then last but not least, we have Conkeldurr Mach Punch into our Heliolisk. Like I said, 87.5% chance to OHKO. Don't expect to live against these Pokemon. Like, that guy's just killing you. There's nothing you can really do. So yeah, that's about it for our damage calcs. Let's go on to our single spotlight build real quick before it's over. So we're running dry skin here just because you don't have to worry about like weather stuff. You can just switch this Pokemon in against a water type attack, heal it up, which is really good, and then you're in a really prime position to just start sweeping. You hit things with Choice Specs, Thunderbolt, Hyper Voice, Volt Switch, Grass Knot, really good spread, really good damage with Choice Specs, and it's very fast. Our spread is still the same, 252 into special attack and 252 into speed. Just really good in general. Like Heliolisk is very fast and very strong. So yeah, that's about it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like Heliolisk, go ahead and like and subscribe. If you like 9th Gym, go ahead and like and subscribe. Even if you don't like either of them, still like and subscribe. It warms my heart. It makes me feel good. Anyway, Heliolisk, if I could talk. Heliolisk is pretty cool. It has very solid damage output. It has very good speed, a really deep move pool that allows it to be very versatile. You can use it as a support Pokemon or even a damage dealing Pokemon. You can use it on different kinds of teams, all sorts of different kinds of teams. Most weather teams, you can use this Pokemon, and it really gets a lot of mileage off of those. So yeah, pretty cool Pokemon, pretty awesome stuff. Heliolisk, like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great evening or day, whatever time zone it is. Have a good of that time zone. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.